Welcome to InfoHub. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today's video is going to be the upgraded version of Photoshop Tips and Tricks Part 1, which is still in demand. So here we are with the second part of it. So let's get started. Do subscribe and press the bell icon and never miss any update from InfoHub. So starting with the last, that is number 5, the color picker tool. So first let's open a new file. Now let's say if I want to add some color to this image or to this background. See generally how we add using the color picker tool. First we need to do is first select your foreground color, then pick a color, then with the help of brush tool we simply add colors. Now if you want to change the color, again go and select foreground color first, then pick a color, then again with the help of brush tool you simply need to add the color. So instead of doing such a long process, let's make it more simple with the help of creating a shortcut key for the color picker tool. So now how to create one? First go to edit, there you can see an option keyboard shortcuts, click on this and within here you can see shortcuts 4. Click on this and select tools. Now as you select tools you will have a list of all the tools. Scroll down and as you scroll down you can see foreground color picker. Simply click on this and add the shortcut key which you want to use for the foreground color picker. Let's say I am using F to be more simple, but make sure that this particular shortcut is not used by any other tool. Since I don't use this tool at all, so I can go for F. Accept. OK. Now if you see, first let me delete this. Now if you see, if I simply press on F, the color picker tool automatically opens. Now I don't need to go and select my foreground color tool again and again. I simply need to press F and this tab will automatically open to me. Now if I select, let's say I want red color. Now say I want green color, simply press F, pick your color with the help of brush tool, you can make any changes. So I am hoping this is far more simpler and faster than the previous method we were following. So I am hoping this tip will be very useful to you. Okay, now let's move towards to our next tip, that is how to get back our files. See, there are situations where we don't remember the exact name of the file or the exact location where we saved a file. So in such case, how can we find it? I'm going to show you. See, the first basic thing is how to get your files is go to file and here you can see an option called open recent and you can see you will get all the 20 recent files you have been working on. And I know this is not enough because 20 is very less. So in such cases what to do? Let's say I want to search a file which I have been working before this. So now how to get back to that file? So for that you have to go to edit and in edit you can see there's an option called preferences. Go to preferences and there's an option called file handling. You can also get file handling in general file handling, and if you see there's an option called recent file contains and this is now set to 20. This is by default set to 20. This you can change according to your own preference. Now let's say I want to find a file in between 30 to 50, so I'm putting it to 60. And remember that 100 is the maximum number, you can't exceed more than 100. So let's say I'm keeping it to 60. Okay. Now if you see, if I go back to file and open recent, I will get all the 60 files which I have been working on. As you can see, I will get a list of all the 60 files I have been working on. But adding to this, now in case suppose we don't remember the name of the file, so in such case what we can do is, as you can see this home icon on the left top corner of the Photoshop, simply click on this. You will get to see the thumbnail of your work. So in case if you don't remember the name, you can also get your files by looking at the thumbnails. But the only demerit is that this feature is only available in the very latest versions of Photoshop, that is 2019-20, not in the prior versions, but it's not such an issue because you have other two options as well, and that's more than enough to get back to your files. So that's all about this tip. So now let's move towards to our next, that is number 4, that is how to add light. First let me select an image. Let's say I'm taking this. See, I know we have discussed about how to add lights to any object or any image in our previous tutorials as well, but each time we have discussed there is some or the other difference. So the one which I'm going to explain to you today is an upgraded version of what I have explained earlier. So let's have a look. See, there are two methods. See, the first method is, first we need to make a new layer by using the shortcut key Ctrl Shift N. You can name it or leave it, and you have to change the blending mode to color dodge. The rest will be by default set, and put a check in the fill with color dodge neutral black. Click OK, and this is how the layer will appear to you. Now simply using the brush tool we can add light, but before that make sure that your foreground and your background color is set to by default. For that, simply press on this icon and it will be automatically set to by default, and keep your foreground color to white because we need to add light, so we need white color. Now with the help of brush tool you can simply add light, but before that let's decrease our flow. Let's keep it to 5. That's enough. Now with the help of brush tool, simply, as you can see, it's looking so natural. You can also add glare as well, that I will explain to you after the second method is done. Okay, now moving towards to the second method, that is first by making a new layer from this icon which is mentioned below. It's same almost. Change the blending mode to color dodge, then double click on this, then double tap on this layer so as to open the tab of blending options. And as you can see here, transparency shape layer is checked in, so you simply need to uncheck this, click OK, and now with the help of brush tool simply add your light. Now let me show you the difference if you don't uncheck the transparency layer tool. See, in case if you don't uncheck this transparency shapes layer, so what's the difference? Let me show you. Click on OK, and now if you can see, if I add the light, it will appear to be blurry, as well as it will be overlapping on the bulb as well, above the image as well. As you can see, it seems to be dusty and blurry. This is the only difference, and I'm hoping this is very clear to you. Now to add some glare, it's the same method. First make a new layer, change the blending mode to overlay, and the rest is using the brush tool. An additional tip as well, you can also change the lookup of this as well from below. As you can see this icon, click on this and there's an option called color lookup. Simply click on this and click on load 3D LUT, and you can see you will get a variety of options. You can select any of them. Let's say I'm using crisp warm look, and you can see this is how it will appear to you, and this is looking absolutely fabulous than the previous one. So that was all about this, and I'm hoping you all understood this method as well. So now let's move towards to our second last, that is how to convert a portrait into landscape without any disfiguration in the image. Let me show you. Let's say I'm selecting this particular image. Now as you can see, this is in portrait mode. Now let's say I want it to be in landscape, that is I want the background to be stretched and this human figure to be fixed and the rest of the background to be stretched. So how can we do it? See, simply if we stretch using the transformation tool, you can see the whole image will be stretched out. So how to avoid this and how to do in a very precise way, let me show you. First you need to adjust, let's change its size with the help of crop tool. Let's keep it 20 by 15, enter. Simply stretch till the part adjust, enter. Now all you need to do is go to edit, and here you can see an option called content aware scale, and with the help of this we can stretch, but make sure that we have limitations in this as well. See, till here it's perfect. Now if you see, if I stretch beyond it will start stretching the whole image. So let's stop here, click enter, again select content aware scale, again stretch. Because Photoshop doesn't save the previous action done, so we can easily use this trick along with pressing enter, so that each time a new action is created. Now as you can see, without any changes in this particular figure, we have smoothly changed the background. I hope this tool will be very helpful to you. Let me show you one more example as well. You can stretch from both the ends as well. You can see we have conveniently changed a portrait into landscape without any disfiguration in this particular image. So I am hoping this was very helpful to you. See, it may take time, but still you have the solution to your problem. But the solution is absolutely worth it, and this tip will be very helpful to you in many cases. So that was all about this. Okay, now let's move towards to our last tip of this particular tutorial, that is to remove anything using the content aware tool. See, this also I have explained to you earlier as well about content aware tool, but as you know, content aware tool cannot be used everywhere because it works accurately where you have a good variation of color. It is applicable there. Now let me show you here. Let's say in this particular image I want to remove this. So with the help of content aware, if we simply use content aware tool in this particular method, it will erase the part which we didn't require, but it will not pick this particular red color because there is variation in this red color. If you can see, it is lighter, darker version, and this is merging with the background of this as well. So in such cases, what we can do, let me show you. Let's undo this. First let's make a duplicate of this layer by using Ctrl J. Now after making a duplicate of this, now as you can see, we want to erase this writing and we want it to be proper red color, and we want Photoshop to pick this particular background and merge it with this. So how to do that, let me show you. As you know, we have already made a copy. Let's make a selection. So make sure that you select the area which you want Photoshop to pick the color from. Now as you can see, I want this red color, so I'll be selecting only this red color part and create a layer mask of this. So now if you will erase this particular writing from here, it will only merge with the color we have already selected, that is this particular red color. It will only pick color from this particular area which we have selected. It will not pick from the background or from anywhere else. So now select your layer thumbnail, take lasso tool, make the selection. Now if you go and select content aware tool, you can see the result. See, isn't it very helpful? So this is the one most important tip in content aware tools which we can use, because as you can see, it is so proper and so precise. So make sure that in such particular images you use content aware tool with the help of layer mask for the best results. So that's all for today, and I'm hoping you are very clear with the tips and tricks explained to you today. So see you in the next class with something more interesting. Thank you. We hope you like this video. Give your feedback in the comment section. Now you can also follow us on all social medias. Hit like and do subscribe our channel for more interesting videos.